This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight. It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welcome to Caneswear. store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. Ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Stairs at the poker table, you know, they got to have like guards on us and everything because they got to worry about Sean. I mean, we got to call it like we see it, right? I mean, they got to worry about Sean. And so, you know, it costs a little extra for us to be downstairs. Him. But anyway, so today we're up here and we're hanging out in the poker room. That's what she said. And by the way, we've got, of course, people enjoying the poker room out here with the captain's chairs. The ladies will bring you drinks and food and TVs galore. You can watch races going on across the country, baseball games that might be going on, whatever is going on. They got it on, and you can bet it. You can bet it on the Hialeah Sports app, whatever sporting event you want to watch while you're playing. Little poker game here. Beautiful thing, right? And, of course, horse racing. They've got the windows right here for you. Come on, Champion Simulcast Centers right down the hall. It's a beautiful thing. So come on out here to Hialeah Park. And by the way, non-smoking casino, which is a beautiful thing. So you don't have anybody, blowing smoke in your face and all that good stuff.
So come on out and of course always tell them that we sent you wherever, whatever. Big Cheese, Caneswear, R&M Contractors, whoever it is that you reach out to because of us, Sloman's Home Shield, all of that. Make sure you mention the Big O Radio Show. All right, that's always important. And it's important to smash the hell out of the like button. There you go. As always. And remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, and Chainlink and Solana, which, by the way, they are ripping right now. Ripping. Ethereum is up 50% in the last 30 days. 50% in the last 30 days. It hit 4,500. It's just under right now at 44.87. It's just been on an absolute, well, it's 44.95 right now. I'm sorry. So it's been moving around. It hit 4,500 already. And so that's really nice. We're about to hit the all-time highs, which is like 47 something. When it hits 48, all-time highs. And right now it's liquidating shorts along the way. Billions in liquidations of shorts. Polkadot, nice to see, up 5%. Solana up 4%. Cardano up 4%. Chainlink up nearly 10%. Alethea Liquid Intelligence Token. I don't know. Somebody's been talking about this for years. Up 7.5% right now. Avalanche is up nearly 4%. It's up at $24, which is nice to see. Jasmy. Don't know who's been talking about Jasmy for years. 9% here. It's a beautiful thing. So good stuff. And Bitcoin is holding right around 119,300 right now. So holding strong. Star Atlas, by the way. Flexing. The Dow is flexing at 5% right now. Loving it. Loving it. Loving it. So it's good to see. It's good to see. I like it. I like it. And the markets, by the way, are cruising. Dow is up 500 points. The S&P is up 66. And the NASDAQ is barely down. So, all right. I like it. I like it. I like it. I see Jamie Zorria on that chat board there. He's back in San Jose. Afternoon to you, sir. Thank you, Jamie, for tuning in. Dolphin Dave is out there. He says we got to more scrubs. It's when I tell you what's been going on this whole season and how you watch them build teams the last couple of years. You watch the first year with Flo when they weren't trying and the moves, right? Look at all the moves that have gone on this year. Look at all the things they've done. They've done more for the future than they have for the present. Okay? I'll just give you an example. They have filled 3 roster spots this year with a substitute teacher, a failed rapper, and a football player that hasn't played in 3 years. Okay, let me repeat that again. One of the 2 running backs they signed yesterday is a substitute teacher. The tight end that I don't know, for whatever reason, not taking the field, a failed rapper and a quitter. By the way, this is a Tyreek Hill person, except he literally quit, actually. Tyreek talked about it and then literally quit in a game, but this guy quit on his career. So you got a failed rapper that you signed. And then the Chris Myrick guy hasn't played football in 3 years. I'm just saying, dude. By the way, you lose a big running back and you bring in 2 guys that are 5'10", 195, and 206. So you change the big running back for another midget running back or midget running backs. Just, you know, and if too many of you are expecting chicken salad out of chicken, it's in a way, I got to tell you, what's the whose slogan is I'm loving it? Is that McDonald's? Okay. Well, I'm McDonald's it because I'm loving it because this is going to get rid of McLovin, McD, because he won't be able to overcome this. So the switch to Weaver just convinces me more and more every day. Just telling you, just look at the moves overall. And I get it. Some of you, we're going to win 10, 11, 12 games, and I get it. We get those blind ass fans. I've been doing this for 35 years, and for 35 years, I've gotten the blind ass fan. Okay? Many of them in every offseason, one way or the other, negative or positive. In this case, it's going to be positive, even though there are no signs of it. So just think about that. All right? You needed players, and you filled roster spots, a starter with a failed rapper. Chris Myrick is a fill-in. I get it. You're just waiting for the fullback to get back, and he's just doing you a favor and all that kind of crap. But still, the guy was out of football for 3 years. And then one of our running backs is also a substitute teacher. Come on. I mean, maybe he might be the best. Is it Nick Giaquinto? Can you look it up for me? Was Nick Giaquinto for the Miami Dolphins, was he also a teacher? This is a long time ago. I'm going deep into the memory banks, but I want to say it was, maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say it was Nick Giaquinto was a teacher and then played football for the Dolphins or played football and then went right to being a teacher or something like that. Maybe it was the other way around, that he became a teacher right out, or did Nick Giaquinto in between trying out between college and the NFL, was he a teacher and then became a Dolphin or some shit like that? Or was it another player? Any of you that are old Dolphin fans, I know there was a player that was kind of like a teacher and then a player or some shit like that. I forgot who it was, but I don't know why to my mind comes Nick Giaquinto. And those are the Shula years. We're talking early 80s. Nick Giaquinto. Something like that. Anyway, so just crazy, dude. Just crazy. Ray, he says, dig the intro video for the show. Well done. First, thank Mason for doing a marvelous job at recreating the Open. And we had to, obviously change the lyrics because we'd done it for QAM for 640. But I couldn't get the original artist who just did a marvelous job with the Open, and people always loved it. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to keep the spirit of it alive, the same one. And Mason, with his own style, he kept that spirit alive. And then Sean, obviously, with the video. And that video might, be able to rotate around and stuff like that. What do we got?
It doesn't go into detail, but I'm guessing he was a teacher. He ended up becoming a head baseball coach at Sacred Heart University.
Okay.
And he held the position from 1989 till he retired in 2017.
Wow. Okay.
So 28 years he coached the baseball team at Sacred Heart University.
Was he a teacher before his stint with the Dolphins? Because maybe it wasn't Giaquinto. Maybe it was somebody, but it was somebody from that era. And maybe I got the name mixed up with another player, but it's in that era. I want to say there was a Dolphin that was kind of in between, and he kind of found his way or something like that. But, yeah. I mean, think about this. Who the hell is going to bring up Nick Giaquinto? All right. That's that most Dolphin fans have no idea who that is, even overall. I mean, that's like a deep roster player from back in the day. The trash man, that's what they called him. Yeah, he did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was a good football player, man. Good football player, actually. Yeah. Anyway. Bernie Parmalee, no, that was UPS or yeah, it was UPS in those days. I don't even know if FedEx was it even starting in those days, early days or something. I think it was UPS that he worked for out of Ball State. Anyway, as always, don't forget, folks, BigCheeseMiami.com, proud sponsors of our program. Manny Navarro joins us every Friday with a Big Cheese NIL and recruiting report. Visit them at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Tell them that I sent you out there, man. And you can order party platters for your business. So if you want to treat your customers or your employees and you want to have a little bit of a party, Big Cheese, you can order for pickup or delivery. Any dish can become a platter. So check it out there, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, and tell them that Big O sent you. Yes, sir.
You nailed it. So Giaquinto, the baseball coach at Sacred Heart since 1989, went to work bussing tables and substitute teaching while trying out for the Dolphins.
The shit that's in this head, okay? The useless information that I have in my head, okay? Now, I mean, there aren't many hosts in town or writers that are born and raised in South Florida, and they've experienced everything of South Florida sports. I'm like one of the few, and I don't even know if there are any. I don't know if anybody else exists like this from all the way back then till now. There's not a lot of us that actually exist. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. I thought it was Nick Giaquinto. I always remember that story of him being a teacher, and then because you always remember the fighters, the people that overcome and the adversities that they have to overcome, and their great stories along the way. And by the way, you mentioned Bernie Parmalee, another great story of overcoming, improving, and by the way, also a solid assistant coach too in the NFL for many years, Bernie Parmalee. Let's see, what else do we have going on the chat board? Jeff in Long Island is in. Edward Thurston Howe is in. Big Johnson. Fernando Perez. Robert Cosa. John Padilla. One-Eyed Jack. Loving that ETH run. Damn right. TJ Superman. Alexis Palenzuela. Lenny Pena. Frankie says, question, remember I told you if I should go to the Backstreet Boys concert? Well, I bought 2 tickets, $240 each, resale value now $1,300 each. Oh, yeah, sell them. Yeah, dude, sell them. Sell them and get Bitcoin with it or Ethereum or something and double that money. Yeah, that's how you do it. Then you get that money and you make it grow. Like, right now, Ethereum, I'm expecting to go to 10. I've been telling you, I think it might go to even a 15. So if we're under 5, you can get that 1,300 and make it 2,600 soon by putting 1,300 in Ethereum. Not that I'm a financial advisor, of course, but I'm just saying, Ethereum, Ethereum's outpacing Bitcoin right now. Just saying. So. Yeah, that's how I would sell them. But I'm not like a Backstreet Boy fan or anything like that. If that's like your favorite band, Frankie, then no, don't sell them and go enjoy yourself, I guess. But I would sell them because there's some crazy babe there or older lady or whatever. There's some women out there, and they're going to pay that money easily. Hell, it might go up a little bit more. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Milk it, Frankie. Milk it. I would. Great investment. Okay. Great investment of Flip. Nice job by you, dude. That's props. That's investing right there. That's like when I told people get your season tickets because Messi's coming, and you could have gotten them and you would have been able to sell like for a bunch of money. And anyway, let's see, what else do we have? The realest Miami Dolphin in, One-Eyed Jack. Ocala Joe, good afternoon, sir. The word of the day is Ali, and I don't mean Muhammad Ali. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alethea is moving. Star Atlas is moving. Jasmine's moving. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What can I tell you? Thank you, Mr. Edward Thurston Howell on Giaquinto for giving us that info on the baseball coach because Sean had found it, but thank you for helping out. Very nice of you, sir. What else? Knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. Yeah. Well, you've been around long enough. You've seen a whole lot of stuff, dude. Whole lot of stuff. Oh, Captain Saki out in Tarpon Springs. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I appreciate you immensely. By the way, next Wednesday, tomorrow we're going to be at Toyota of Hollywood. Next week, we will be at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. So be hanging out there with Alan and all the great people. Alan, of course, is the GM at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Use our name, and you will get $500 off. You could use the QR code if you're headed there to buy or lease a vehicle. And just tell them when you get there, hey, man, Big O told me I get $500 off, and they will give you $500 off. So talk to Thomas Pierre or Brian Medina or Samuel Williams or Eric Stampone, all the fantastic people out there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the amazing Alan Blanco. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. Miami Dolphins, unfortunately, got the bad news. Alexander Madison suffers a neck injury, has neck surgery. He is out for the year. It's not career-threatening, but he is out for the year, and Miami needed that big back. It's now down to Ollie Gordon II to be carrying the load on the power end. We'll see what happens. Miami did sign 2 running backs yesterday, Aaron Shamplin, former Steeler, and Mike Boone. Both guys 5'10", 195, and 206, so not necessarily big backs in the process. The Inter Miami squad will be back in action at 7:30 Saturday at Chase Stadium. They will be hosting the Galaxy. No word yet if Messi will play. My guess is this is what they were saving him for this one. I wouldn't be surprised if he does play, but I have not heard anything yet. Saturday at Pitbull Stadium, Miami FC will be hosting Louisville City FC. And in NFL football, Jordan Love suffered an injury to his thumb on his non-throwing hand, by the way. He should be ready for practice next week, and they're expected for him to be ready for week 1. Remember, it's the non-throwing hand for Jordan Love. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery for your company, corporation, business, school, like a lot of people, it's happened quite a few times for picnics or trips. They order T-shirts for their entire company or a party or something like that. And you could do that also at 3A Graphics or uniforms or anything like that. Call Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. All right. David Furones, by the way, will join us at the top of the hour. And then Manny Navarro will join us in about an hour. And we'll talk a little Canes with him also on Le Programme. Jay Bird says, come on, chat crew. Less than half of you remember to smash the like button. That's right, baby. Let's go. Thank you, Jay Bird. Appreciate you, man. Hit that like button. It's very, very important. You get the algorithms going, and you spread the word. That is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, is spreading the word. And merchandise shop, another way you can support our show. Buy a hat, shirt, everything that's there. It's all in stock, ready to go. Right away. We ship it the second that you order it. The next day it is shipped and ready to go. So got all my stuff in line now, which is good. all my other stuff. So no more delays, which is a beautiful thing. But you know what? The people that got delayed, you got a bonus, bro, because I like tripled your order or doubled your order. I gave you all kinds of free shit. So I made up for it at least. You know what I'm saying? So as I caught up with those, I have made up with those in a big time way. So you're actually lucky for those of you that got caught up in the delays. What else do we have to talk about that I wanted to get into? By the way, Tyreek, Waddle, and Phillips are still day to day. Now, last year during the basketball season, which was, earlier this year actually, but this past season, Tyler Hero got exposed. He got exposed for what we know, right? That he can't play defense, that he's soft and all that. And then a player said, oh, yeah, well, we know that. All we have to do is attack Tyler Hero. Openly said that. And one of the problems that I've talked about over and over again, and I've mentioned and I've proven it to you guys that it's for 40 years, that the Dolphins consistently don't win at the line of scrimmage. At times they've won at the line of scrimmage on defense. It's happened a few times, but on offense, they never win the line of scrimmage, ever. Rare. It's rare. It's moments, it's small stretches, but they have never really built an offensive line for us. A couple of years where they had a group that they could, revolve around 3, 4, 5 guys. It's hard 5, but at least 3 or 4 of them that were the heart and soul of it, and you rotated and you had like a great line for several years, and you were plowing people and establishing a run like you did in the 70s. And so Alan Poupart has posted a tweet from the Detroit Sports Illustrated writer from the Lions linebacker Grant Stewart about facing the Dolphins in joint practices. Okay. It says, I don't know if they're ready. I'm going to keep it a stack. I've played at other places and played against that team last year and joint practices against that team twice when I was in Tampa. I don't know if they practice how we practice. I'm excited to see our guys for sure, and I'm excited to get out there and do something against somebody else who doesn't know every in and out of what we're doing. So, I mean, how many more times do we have to call it out? It's been a soft organization for 40 years. Individually, they've had some tough players. There's no doubt about that. I would never challenge the toughness of certain players, but overall as a team, soft. What happened to Jimmy Johnson teams every time they got to the playoffs? Did they not fold like a cheap tent? Wasn't it a complete embarrassment? How about Shula? What happened in the 90s against the Bills? What happened against Washington in the Super Bowl? What happened against San Francisco in the Super Bowl? What happens to the Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas teams when push came to shove? They got shoved all over the damn place. They got some wins during the regular season, but every time they got to the playoffs, they shit the bed. And they got beat by a tougher team. And their offense could never push anybody around. So Jason and Zach could not. Their defense was really good, but it wasn't Raven good. It wasn't like Philadelphia good this past year, like generational. It was really good. It was good enough to win a Super Bowl, but you needed an offense that was going to be a bully to complement it. It wasn't like the Ravens or like the Broncos of a few years ago that carried Peyton Manning and the offense to a Super Bowl. No, those defenses weren't that good. So by the time they got to the end of the year, they got pushed around because they were worn out, because they weren't that generational defense. They weren't the no-name defense. That's because Brock Marion ain't no fucking Jake Scott, dude. Give me a break. So just, that's been the problem. And here you go. There's a player openly talking about how he can't wait and he's practiced against them. And he mentioned, I don't know if they're ready for it, because he knows the soft nature of this football team, of this organization for 40 years. For 40 years, every big moment they have shit their pants. Every big moment. It's just kind of the way it is. And this past week, it's only a preseason game. It's only practice, but you did not look good. You got bullied. And to complain about the Bears taking you to the ground, bro, you don't complain about it. You retaliate. It's the line of the untouchables. They put one in the hospital. You put two of theirs in the morgue. Sean Connery. That's what you're supposed to do. As I said in my rant yesterday, these Dolphin riders would be complaining so much about the Florida Panthers as an opponent. It's just, this is who you are until you prove otherwise. And we're going to find out over the next 2 days in practice against the Lions. The preseason game, not as many of those guys will end up playing. You know what I mean? Oh, no, actually, no, it's the second game. We'll get the dress rehearsal probably, unless they're too beat up in the next 2 days. But there you go. Once again, proof why the Dolphins are who they are, and people know it. And until they change it, the narrative will never change, because the narrative is exactly who you are. Soft. All right. What else can I tell you? What else? Dante Trader Jr., by the way, is set to return to practice tomorrow, so that's good. Cam Smith is also ready to return for practice. That's also very good. We'll see. Maybe it means nothing. I mean, in the end, we have kind of give up on Cam Smith. It's up to now. Cam Smith has to prove to us that we should be interested again in his attempt to be a football player for the Miami Dolphins, because we really can't waste our time with Cam Smith anymore. But hey, he gets to practice. Come on, dude, wake the hell up. Because I'm kind of tired about talking about a guy that does absolutely nothing. Dante Trader Jr., that young kid hasn't gotten an opportunity yet. Let's see what he can do. Elijah Campbell is listed as day-to-day with his injury, so it's not serious. And now we get to the interesting but baffling story of Darren Waller. Today, head coach of your Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniel, said that Darren Waller is not ready to practice because he doesn't want him jumping into a scrimmage practice just out of retirement. And let me tell you, folks, if you believe that, I've got a bridge down in the Keys I want to sell you. I mean, listen, Miami Dolphins, if you're going to come up with a bold-faced lie, do a better job, man. Admit he has an injury. Admit that he has a mental block. Admit that, I don't know. But admit what's really going on, because it's not that, because Chris Myrick was out of football for 3 years, and he's in there right away. So give me a break. Some idiot on Twitter goes to me, well, who's more important? And it has nothing to do with that, dude. Tua is the most important player, and you played him in a meaningless preseason game this week. The hell, you think Tua needed to play this week? No, he didn't need to play this week. That was stupid on their part, but they did. What, you think it was smart to play Achane? No, that was stupid. And it was even dumber to use him in short yardage and risk injury in a meaningless preseason game of week 1. That's like playing Jake Long in the fourth quarter of a rainy game in preseason game number 1 and losing him. So I would suggest to the Miami Dolphins and to Mike McDaniel, your bold-faced lie is just absolute bullshit, dude. The guy is in great physical shape. Go look at his Instagram. They all professed that he was in amazing shape. There is no reason, unless there's an injury or there's a psychological problem going on. We are talking about someone who has quit on his career. We are talking about somebody who has quit on their marriage. We are talking about somebody who is a failed rapper also on top of all of that. This guy does nothing responsible. So he has earned no benefit of the doubt whatsoever. You cannot trust him, and I'm certainly not trusting the Dolphins on this because it's a horrible lie, dude. It's like it's a lazy and sloppy lie. It's not even a good lie. I mean, I've been lied to with at least lies that I know they're lies, but you can make a case for them. That what they're saying you cannot make a case for, because athletically he was already in shape, dude. And don't get, oh, he's not in football. Well, that's what training camp was for. That's what those first couple of weeks were for. That, you know, when you started off without pads, that's exactly what Darren Waller needed. And so if you're not going to, so they're scrimmaging this week, and aren't they scrimmaging next week? And then what? And so you're not going to play them at all, and then you're going to just depend on practice to get to the regular season? That doesn't make any sense either. So you're going to rely on the unreliable and not find out if the unreliable can be reliable until the regular season? It's just a horrible lie. And if you're going to do something like that, you know, sometimes we just see through the bullshit. Most of us. I know some of you out there, you're, hardcore blind ass fans, and you don't want to ever give yourself a chance to see anything objectively. But my God, can you be any more full of shit about Darren Waller? But hey, man, it's your job. Your job's on the line, McD. So knock yourself out, my brother. Knock yourself out. Let's see what else. Yes, I saw D from What's Happening passed away. I put it on my chat board. I saw that. She always had that dry humor. She was like that dry smart ass. She was she was a character on that show. Bless her, man. Rest in peace. What else do we have? My glimmer of hope for McDaniel is totally gone. All full of shit, says Fernando. The Dolphins should wait for teams to start cutting players in this preseason to pick up the tight end. I'm sure they're going to do that anyways. I'm sure they're going to reach for offensive line, secondary, tight end, all those areas, running back. I'm sure they're going to look for all those kind of areas that they're thin at and try to find some kind of a player that is cut that they feel might fit in the process. So yeah, that's expected. It's just, please just stop lying to me about the Darren Waller stuff. It makes no sense whatsoever. None. It's an absolute lie. So that's the part that is frustrating. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, can you bring up good old Bill for me? I want a message out there because I know that this happens in life. Sometimes women, they struggle in feeding their kids after delivery, and they just don't know where to go and what tricks to kind of feed their children. Well, the Bill Belichick breast pump is now going to hit the market. And for any women out there, and I know it's a little bit of a personal issue right now going on because I don't want to get personal. You know, some women out there, they may struggle breastfeeding and they may struggle in production. Well, Bill Belichick has mastered it at North Carolina. He is feeding his kids, and he's hoping that his breast milk will lead them to the ACC title game. And if any of you ladies out there want to know Bill Belichick's secrets, okay, all you got to do is reach out to him, and he'll tell you, and it's there for you. 1-800-BREAST-MILK. 1-800-BREAST-MILK is the number for Bill Belichick and the new contraption that he has come up with to help all ladies out there who are struggling with breastfeeding. 1-800-BREAST-MILK. Okay? It's there for you. I mean, look at that. Look at that pair. Huh? Look at that. Who says it doesn't grow in your 70s? Huh? Look at that. Pointy and everything, ready to poke your eyes out. Yeah, that's it. Man or woman? You're going to be saying 65, 70-year-old woman? No, it's a 70-year-old man. Yep, there you go. So I'm just saying there's no breast pump like a Bill Belichick breast pump. You want a Super Bowl flow for your kids? Reach out to Bill Belichick. 1-800-BREAST-MILK. 1-800-BREAST-MILK. Enjoy. All right. I don't know how Cristobal competes. Those kids are well nourished. I mean, seriously. Yeah. Jen Hudson is probably marketing that thing right now as we speak. She is the marketing genius and guru for Belichick breast milk. Let's see, what else do we have? Front seven on defense could be elite. It's a shame that they're so bad at corner. Starting O-line might be okay, but zero depth. Yep. Yeah, those are the obvious problems. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, I'll tell you one thing that I am terrified of that I was terrified of last year. Okay? You cannot wear out Achane again. If you do what you did last year to Achane, I don't know if he survives. I don't know if his body can hold up with that. God bless him. He runs with confidence. He runs with authority. All those things are so sad. He runs with confidence. He runs with authority. He hits that hole hard. God bless him, dude. God bless him. But he's not made to be that dude. And I don't like, and I don't want him to get the Napoleon complex that he starts thinking, no, screw you, I am that guy. And then all he does is ruin his career. And he never becomes the guy that he can be for a long term, which is what he should be, is kind of the number two back, the guy, the change of pace guy. That's what he needs to be, because you keep him fresh and explosive. It's hard to stop him, but if you keep giving him tons of carries, this is why I don't like the Madison injury. And now we're, down to a rookie, and you got to make sure the rookie can block, can pick up the blitzes and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if he's ready for that. At least with Madison, I knew he was because he's already a proven commodity. So short yardage back, blocker, blitzing situations, third downs, Madison could handle all of that. Ollie, we're not sure. He hasn't been put in the fire yet in that situation. I love what I saw in him running and catching this past week. Love it, dude. Love it. But there's that other part of it that he could get Tua killed. Whereas Madison, there's a good chance he's not going to get Tua killed. Ollie's a rookie. He could make that mistake that gets Tua killed. He didn't mean to do it, but he's new at reading all of this. And he may think the extra blitzer's coming from here and it may be from over there instead. And that's where Tua will have to be kind of his extra eyes and ears and kind of tell him, yo, it's coming from over here. And when he's back there, and you'll notice those kind of things. But these are things that keep me up at night. I know they're not going anywhere, and I love the team, but these are the kind of things that, like, oh my God, I don't want to see Achane get hurt, because last year was ridiculous. Last year they ran him into the ground, and they should not have done that. That was irresponsible as hell last year, that you didn't find a way to use Wright more, and you didn't find a way as a coaching staff to get him prepared and be a bigger part of the offense. That's a shame on you. To then wear out Achane the way they did, irresponsible. And I hope this Madison injury, these are things that scare me, that then we start to depend too much on Achane. And you know what, dude? I'm not here to agree with Tyreek, but God bless him, he was telling the truth. Achane's not a power back. I don't want him being a power back. I don't want him attempting to be a power back. I don't need him being a power back. These are the kind of things that I worry about. I know big picture, it's not like it's going anywhere, but man, some of these things are baffling for me. The Colonel says maybe Miami needs to feed the Dolphin players Bill's breast milk. Maybe that, yeah. So it's a good point. It's a good point. Road trip to Chapel Hill for the Dolphins. Let's call Jennifer. Let's make an appointment. Bill can be lying in bed, and then players can line up outside and kind of take turns, lying next to Bill for a couple of minutes there and loading up. I think that's a good idea. I think they need the Belichick milk. I'm with you there. Yep. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, you are funny as hell. You can't make this shit up. Well, I appreciate you laughing. We got to laugh a little bit, right? Every once in a while, we got to at least enjoy ourselves. You know what I'm saying? HN needs Belichick's breast milk to be tough enough for short yardage situations. That would give him a little bit more muscle and iron. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're going to bottle up Bill Belichick's breast milk, and it's going to be the new muscle milk. Yep. So, new muscle milk, Bill Belichick, breast powered.
And everybody was saying Tom Brady was the GOAT.
Yeah. That's right. Who's the GOAT?
Belichick showing now.
Who's the GOAT milk now? Huh, Tom? Huh? But you can't feed a team, bitch. Bill can feed his team in an hour. So at halftime, what do? Like, they have like small bottles already pre-made. Yeah, I think Jordan milks him in the morning before the games. And then that way they have, Bill's Gatorade at halftime. There's just milk right there. It's just there. I mean, back in the day, Aaron Pryor, when he was fighting, instead of the bottle that was mixed against Alexis Arguello, he could have asked for Bill Belichick's milk. Think about that. Barry Bonds could have broken all those records without steroids if he had Belichick's breast milk. Ben Johnson would have actually held on to that track record with Belichick's breast milk. It's legal. It's just a normal steroid, but it's a legal steroid. It's just milk, but it's Belichick milk. So now you know whatever the over-under is for the North Carolina team, take the over. Whatever it is about ACC championship, take the odds. They're powered by some breasts that you have never seen before in men's sports. In fact, the Trump organization is really baffled right now with Belichick. There might be an executive order to ban him also. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that could happen here. I'm telling you. This is tough. Sweet Baby Ray, Sack Wilson, gets that name because he gets sacks, right? He used to sack MILFs. Now he sacks himself. It's kind of the way it is. But, hey, he's still Sack Wilson. One way or another, he is Sack Wilson. Used to sack the ladies, the older ladies. Now he just sacks himself. I like it. I like it. Lenny Pena says, I think Belichick wanted to get the new pecs for his young girlfriend, but the surgeon made a mistake and gave him a couple of C cups. Yeah, maybe. I think it's all natural. See, that's just wrong on his part. He's Belichick grows him naturally, and now this guy's calling him fake. Man, the things Belichick has to deal with now. Those are real. They're natural. And here we go. Lenny Pena with the hater. Oh, it was a doctor. They're enhanced. You people can't give people credit for doing things all natural. Damn, Lenny. Tell you. Shame on you, Lenny, for picking on good old Bill, naturally growing out a pair and putting his team over the top. If Bill Belichick was a wrestler, his finisher would be spraying milk in the eyes and hit the opponent with a low blow to the nuts. Yeah, you spray and slap. Okay. All right. What would Belichick, the wrestlers, name be? The Breastinator?
That's Bill Belichick. Double B.
The double B's? Yeah. Or the double B's with the double D's.
Oh. There's a lot of little ways you could go there.
Yes.
He could cut some good promos.
Oh, God, yes.
There's a lot of going there.
Definitely. And he could stand next to the WWE girls.
They might not.
It's a lot of breasts. Yeah. All those WWE. Now, you're right. You were going to. I know where you were going. They don't want to get shown up by the old man. A 74-year-old with a pair like that,
you don't want that happening.
Yeah. That's not good. It's not good.
Imagine the swimsuit calendar with Belichick in it.
Oh, yeah. SI is calling Belichick next year. That's right. Jennifer Hudson is going to be so pissed. It's going to be terrible. Next year, SI, hey, Bill, you had a great year. You won the Super Bowl. We want you to be the center of our SI swimsuit issue. Look at that. Look, you can display everything, Bill. Show it all off. And then there's Jennifer Hudson in the corner, just furious, bro. She'll divorce him at that point. Okay? Once Belichick gets the cover on SI swimsuit issue next year, it's over. Hudson leaves him. She goes find a flat-breasted old man. She won't make that mistake twice. No shot. No. No more competition in the Hudson household. Lenny, you enjoying it? Good. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. Pat in Nashville says, oh, it's all the biscuits and gravy Belichick has been eating in Chapel Hill. Well, hey, bro, he's producing that milk. That's all I can say. Whatever it is that you guys are growing there in North Carolina, it's, listen, men that want to grow breasts, move to North Carolina. I think this is where we're at now. I think you're onto something, Pat. North Carolina milk and cheese gets it done. Let's see. Oh, I even think if the Dolphins players drank Belichick's milk every day and twice on Sundays, they'd still will be the bitches in the trenches. The heel character deflating balls in the locker room. Oh, man. All right, let me get to a little music history and notes before we get to a little more Dolphins talk here on the show. All right, let's start off with birthdays today. All right, famous musicians celebrating birthdays today on August 12th. Who was born on August 12th? And can we open this damn thing? Here we go. All right. Sir Mix-a-Lot, the American rapper, record producer, songwriter, Baby Got Back, born in 1963. They should make it now. Yeah, Baby Got Boobs. Belichick got boobs. I like it. Belichick got boobs. I like it. Born in 1963, by the way, for Sir Mix-a-Lot. Braggy Olufsen from the Sugar Cubes, born in 1962. Roy Hay, guitarist from Culture Club, born in 1961. Let's see, Pat Metheny, guitarist. Of course, Pat Metheny Group and all that, born in 1954. Jerry Spicer, one of the founding members of Men at Work, born in 1953. 1951 for August Darnell, singer-songwriter, co-founder of Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band, and then later formed Kid Creole and the Coconuts. So there you go. Who else celebrating? Ronald David Mayo from Sparks, born in 1950. Mark Knopfler, the great one, guitarist, singer, songwriter, legend from Dire Straits, born in 1949. Buck Owens, American singer, songwriter, born in 1929. And Percy Mayfield, blues singer, born in 1920. All right, let's go with other famous people born on this day. Remember, if I don't give you the age, that means they have passed away. Like Pope Blessed Innocent, the 11th, in 1611. I think we just lost him recently. Just recently we lost him. Educator, poet Catherine Lee Bates, born in 1859. Guinness World Record founder Norris and Ross McWhirter, born in 1925. Business activist George Soros, born in 1930. He's 95. Actor George Hamilton is 1939, and Leatherface is 86 years old today. Actor Jim Beaver, born in 1950. He is 75 today. Writer Ann Martin, born in 55. She is 70. Nope. Got those already. Actor Peter Krause, born in 65. He is 60. Rebecca Gayheart, the actress, born in 71. She's 54. Pete Sampras, tennis Hall of Famer, born in 71. He's 54. Comedian, I'm sorry, not Canadian, comedian Michael Ian Black, born in 71, he's 54. Actor Casey Affleck, born in 75, he's 50. Let's see, rugby player Yona Mayer, born in 96, 29. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Dr. Wagner Jr. turned 60. Falaba is 40. Koji Kateo was born on this date in 1963. Todd Kennelly is 49. And the great Jonathan Coachman, the coach, he turns 52 on August 12th, 2025.
All right, let's move over to music history. What happened today in music history? We start off in 54, where 19-year-old Elvis Presley signed the recording contract with Sun Records and quit his job at the Crown Electric Company later that day. In 65 on this date, the Beach Boys released California Girls. Musically, it's one of the group leaders, Brian Wilson's favorite compositions, with an introduction that combines country and classical influences. It's because he's a damn genius at Brian Wilson. In 75, KC and the Sunshine Band's Get Down Tonight entered the charts. In 79 on this date, it was Disco Demolition Night at Comiskey Park, where the White Sox and the Tigers played a doubleheader. The plan was to play disco albums between games, but the fans became unruly and rushed the field, forcing the White Sox to forfeit the second game. Plus, they burned like a ton of albums on the field and everything. In 82, Talk Talk released their debut album, The Party's Over, and it features Talk Talk and Today. In 99, Limp Bizkit singer Fred Durst was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota for kicking a security guard in the head at the Roy Wilkes Auditorium. In 2005, Brandi Carlile released her self-titled debut album. And in 2019, Bleached released their third studio album, Do You Think You've Had Enough? All right, let me see if there's any. Oh, Christine McVie was born on this date in 43, and rest in peace. Let's see who else. Oh, Philip Taylor Kramer, bassist for Iron Butterfly, born in 52. Robin Wilson, lead singer of Jim Blossoms, is 60 years old today. Tim Gain, keyboardist, co-founder of Stereolab, is 61. John Petrucci, hell of a guitarist, bro. Founding member of Dream Theater, he is 58. And that's such a great band. God, that's such a great band. All of them are exceptional musicians. And Kimberly Perry of the band Perry is 42. That's what happened today in music history. By the way, an Eddie Van Halen. Send Feronis a link. I guess I might have sent him the wrong link or something because he's trying to connect and he says it's not connecting, which is kind of weird. So I'm a screw up. So it could happen. Eddie Van Halen, by the way, is putting, not Eddie, but they're putting out a guitar of his for auction. And it was previously owned by Eddie Van Halen and later Mick Mars, and it's expected to fetch over $2 to $3 million this year. It's crazy. The Kramer guitar in question, modeled by Van Halen's signature Frankenstein guitar, sporting a similar red, black, and white paint job. The titular Van Halen guitar played at the Axe through 82 to 83 on the band's Hide Your Sheep tour in support of Diver Down. The guitar could be seen on stage during concerts in Philadelphia, Caracas, Venezuela, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Buenos Aires, Argentina. The guitar will be at Sotheby's upcoming Rock and Pop auction on October 24th. By the way, the sale will also include memorabilia of Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, and the Beatles. So they're expecting $2 to $3 million for that guitar. The problem is you get that guitar, and then you got to hire a security guard at your house. Like, do you really want to tell people you own a $2 to $3 million Eddie Van Halen guitar? That's the part that sucks about having money. I'm glad we're broke, but like you see all these athletes and they get money and all that, and then it's just people wanting to steal your shit, dude. Like it's no fun. You know what I mean? It kind of sucks. All right, let's go. Hour number 2 of the program is next, and we started off with David Furones.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session. Welton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, there he is, the one and only David Furones. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good in the middle of this big 11-day road trip, switching sites from Chicago to the Detroit area, and some competitive joint practices we should see against the Lions.
You're hitting 8 Mile? You're going to rap against Eminem? What are you doing in Detroit?
I guess, yeah. I got to go hit up 8 Mile.
You're going to build a car? What are you doing in Detroit, bro? What are you doing? Come on.
I gotta at least get a picture of a road sign that says 8 Mile, whether it's on a highway or something, just to show I was out here. I did that one time with on a heat road trip in January out here on a Milwaukee and Detroit trip, because that's what Ira Winterman would give me, of course. So when I was his backup that year, and hanging out with Shandell Richardson over here.
Good dude. Good
yeah,
dude.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and the Dolphins played the Lions a couple years back too. I got to check out a Michigan game that time, the night before, Michigan and Michigan State, the Saturday night before. So that was pretty cool.
Okay, all right. Not a baseball game or anything?
No, I saw, and the the Tigers are so good too. But no, they are at where I just came from, Chicago. They're playing the White Sox right now. And I know there's somewhere else, maybe Minnesota after that. So I did do my homework to see if I could catch the Tigers. I would have loved to see Tarek Skubal on the mound in one of those games.
Let's go over a couple things that was announced today. One, it's kind of for tomorrow, Tyreek, Waddle, and Phillips still day to day, and the Phillips one doesn't bother me as much because Phillips has proven to me you can bring him along slowly. I just need him healthy for the regular season. But with Tyreek and Waddle, if you're going to play Tua, I'd like for his weapons to be out there to kind of help him a little bit for a series or two. And this might be the dress rehearsal game, actually, when it's all said and done. It's a little bothersome that Tyreek and Waddle are still kind of day to day. I hope they're able to practice and play. At least practice. I'd rather them practice this week than even play in the game almost.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. In Mike McDaniel's tenure, he has never played starters in more than one preseason game. Like each time, Tua just gets one game. So if you go by that precedent, then he already had that one game. Now he's still leaving it open, and even said that he would still consider possibly playing him in another one. He always kind of just leaves it right up until that last moment before these preseason games. But I agree with you. I would have liked for, if Tua was only going to play one, I would have liked for it to be with Tyreek and with Jalen Waddle, because we know it's such a big thing. I mean, they've played together a bunch. We know that much. But it's just after last year, you have the whole Tua and Tyreek relationship thing. I wanted them to get some reps. They have to replenish, reignite what they had previously, those first 2 years together, when that connection wasn't there last season. I know it's a big byproduct of not running the ball effectively, and that's the huge emphasis this year. But I did want to see them get some preseason work in together, which Tua could not get with them that opener against the Bears. So I still would like to see it, but if not, then they've had plenty of work, obviously, in their first 3 years together and 4 years with Tua with Jalen Waddle.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tua and Tyreek don't play tomorrow, because according to the coach, they played poker for 4 hours. They may have sore asses.
Yeah.
Okay, your asses may be too sore to play tomorrow. So I don't know. They may have bed sores, seat sores on their asses or something by tomorrow. I mean, 4 hours playing poker. Man, that's
and Tyreek was already dealing with the oblique injury, so I mean that's nearby too on the body. I don't know. Now you start to worry.
And by the way, hasn't Tyreek lost enough money with kids and women? Oh God! I'm sorry. I had to go there. Poker for 4 hours. I mean, that's Tyreek.
How do you know he's not winning? How do you not? I know he's not taking their money.
I'm just gonna guess, bro. I'm just gonna guess that in the mental game of poker and all that Tua might be the guy that might have a little bit more of an edge on Tyreek. I'm just gonna guess.
Well, Tyreek is a pathological liar. Tyreek, so he bluffs for a living. He does this in his sleep.
But that's the problem, that he's bluffing and he's lying, because that's.
But eventually he's got to have the cards.
So yeah, exactly. But with Tua, you just don't know, because he can really just kind of hide it from you completely. You really won't be able to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'd give Tua the edge in a poker game between those two. Somehow or another, I think Tua's kids picked up an extra toy or something from Tyreek here from that poker game.
From Uncle Reek?
Yeah, from Uncle Reek. All right. Dude, can you come up with a better lie? Seriously, Miami Dolphins. Like, Chris Myrick was out of football for 3 years. You threw him right into the mix. Darren Waller, you were already in great physical shape. That's what everybody was bragging about. So don't give me that. And you got him in time that you had practices without pads. That's when you put Darren Waller. And now you're telling us, oh, I don't want his first practices out of retirement, which is 1 year, to be scrimmages. And we're talking about a proven player. These are all bull-faced lies. He's in shape. So he's either injured or psychologically something's going on, dude. None of us with half a brain are believing any of the bullshit that he's selling us about Darren Waller. I don't know about you. I'm not going to speak for you, but I think people with half a brain aren't going to believe anything he's saying about that, because it makes no sense whatsoever. If there's an injury or a psychological issue, which they don't have to tell you about either, that makes sense. But what you're telling me makes absolutely no sense. So the ball is in your court.
Yeah, that's a tough one to unpack. It was 1 year. If you think about it, Bradley Chubb, while not retired, he also did not play last year. So there's another example of someone. Now, he was ramping up to play and was on the verge of being activated, but yeah, he ultimately did not play all last season.
And Jalen Phillips was playing until he got hurt, until he got leg whipped. So,
and those are vital players to your team this year. They were last year, et cetera. So yeah, you just don't know it with Darren Waller. I mean, we barely know him here. We've only spoken to him the one time when he was introduced. Obviously, we can't get to him now while he's on PUP, and we see him doing some workouts on the side. He was jogging around one of the sessions where it was just the Dolphins practicing at Hallis Hall in northwest of Chicago.
You mean Drew Rosenhaus hasn't given us any insight on that elaborate Channel 7 segment that he has there?
He did say he'll be ready for the season. But yeah, it is perplexing because even if it's you don't put him in the joint practice against the Lions, because I do agree you don't want to just throw him into that. You do have to get him acclimated, but you could still have him do individual work on the side. He could still progress to the point of starting to come back into the practice setting and
or the individual drills.
Position. Yeah.
Or individual drills, not individual on the side. He could run the positional
right, with the tight
drills.
Ends. Yes. Mm-hmm. The positional drills. So, you could at some point get him incorporated into that, but Mike McDaniel does not feel this is the correct time, and he's using the joint practice as the reason right now. But might be something worth asking him is specifically why he can't do more individual drills, work with his tight ends when it's the portions of the joint practice that are just
why wasn't he out there at the beginning of camp when you didn't have pads on? You had him signed. He was under contract at that time. That's exactly when you were supposed to ease him in. That's what you need to ask him. Why didn't you ease him in when you didn't have pads and you don't have the excuses that you're putting up now? And now, why isn't he at least doing all the individual drills with all the tight ends? Why isn't he running routes and catching? If you don't want him doing one-on-ones against another team, that's understandable. But why isn't he just running routes and catching and everything from everybody else? What's going on? Because, dude, everything you're telling us is a bold-faced lie, bro. It's just a bold-faced lie because it doesn't make sense whatsoever what you're telling us. Because you had the chance to ease him in. You chose not to ease him in and go look at his IG. The shit that he was doing was way more, what's it called? Aggressive.
Strenuous. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, strenuous and aggressive than the beginning of training camp when you're running around without pads, bro. Give me a break, dude. I'm not buying any of this, dude. I'm just not. I call it complete bullshit. Just come up with a better lie, dude. That's all I would say. Just a better lie. That's a terrible lie. It's just a bad.
I wonder if the PUP designation is at this rate a plan forward to start the season on PUP. Let him have the first 4 games. To then maybe that's when you start to get him incorporated into the real football sense. Now, of course, that if that were to develop, that would go against what Drew Rosenhaus has told us on his WSVN segment, is that he would be ready for the regular season. But it's a very slow progression toward the season for him if he's still not off PUP and not practicing now. So it's not going to be the second of the 3 preseason weeks. You already had the 2 weeks of camp before preseason started. So now you're talking about going through 4 weeks of camp without him. You only have 1 preseason game left after that. So at that rate that he's moving, which is not off PUP yet, then at that point, are you going to be comfortable come week 1 saying, moving him so rapidly from not participating in football, starting to participate, getting him in pads, not getting a chance against another team at all, unless you get him into the final preseason game and really accelerate him into that? Would you be comfortable putting him out there for a regular season opener when, as you have said, he is coming, as I'm talking to Mike McDaniel here, he is coming off retirement?
Right. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, so help me out here because, to me, this is why I think this is a season that is just being set up in a way that Mike McDaniel is not a good enough coach to survive, and Weaver will take over. So walk me through this. So we've gone through an offseason where you needed roster spots, and you signed a substitute teacher, a guy that hasn't played football in 3 years, and a failed rapper. Am I doing the right in inventory here? Right? They just signed a substitute teacher yesterday, a failed rapper, which we just talked about, and then the aforementioned Chris Myrick, who wasn't in football for 3 years. These are 3 of your roster moves that you needed play. The Chris Myrick one, I kind of get it because he's just filling in for the fullback. It's a really odd position and all that. So I kind of but it's still funny that you went and called a guy that's been out of football for 3 years. It's still funny that your Pro Bowl tight end wanted like a contract and you said, no, thanks. Let's go get a failed rapper. And, and then now your running back gets injured and you go get a substitute teacher. I don't know, my brother.
Is that actually true, or are you just?
Yeah. The Shampling was also substitute teacher. Yes.
Okay. I didn't look back and find that. I just looked at his football stats, to be honest, and then he went to Harvard. But hey, smart substitute teacher. He went to Harvard.
They actually hit the books there. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's just kind of funny how in a season where you need everything possible. Oh no, we'll trade our 4th for a 3rd next year. Oh no, we'll push a 5th into the future. Also, all these kind of things that they've done. They didn't mortgage any money in the future. They didn't mortgage any picks in the future. Like there has been zero urgency. Okay, zero urgency. You see Jamal Williams and people are talking about Zach Moss. No, dude, it's Aaron Shamplin and Mike Boone. I'm just telling you, dude. This is I put it to my nosy, and it don't smell so rosy. What's going on here? And it just kind of feels like they're kind of setting this whole thing up because they want to make that change, maybe, as Michael Jackson would say. But go ahead, your thoughts on these moves and others.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as thinking they're out to make a change or in the it's in the works already. I just don't think that's how people in this building operate. At least the ones at the top who are making these decisions. So
really, what didn't they try to tank a few years back, and then the coach didn't get it?
Yeah, that was problematic.
The same people you're telling me would not do that, didn't they do that? Okay.
They wanted to. Not everyone was on the same page.
No, they did it. And they also set up an interview also to bring in Tom Brady. And, you know, the one dude didn't go along with any of the plans. Like, he was screwing up every plan. So you're going to tell me that these people wouldn't do this also? Papa, come on.
But see, I remember that rebuild, and I feel like it was transparency as to that being the plan. Like, I remember Adam Schefter pre-game to an NFL playoff game at the end of the 2018 season. It was like the big breaking news is Adam Schefter was on ESPN saying the Miami Dolphins are preparing next season to put themselves in position for the number 1 pick. And it was like, oh, okay, we get it. They're tanking. It was like from the beginning, like way before the 2019 season even was coming into fruition. So I felt like that was a transparent thing.
But instead of, they're not going to advertise this, bro. They can't advertise this. They can't say that they're doing this. But I'm just telling you, look at the actions everywhere. Where did you sign any big free agents? No, you didn't even. James Daniels is not a big free agent. He's a second tier free agent. He's a lower second tier free agent that you signed overall. You didn't go for any big free agents. You didn't go for any big trades. You traded back for picks for the future. You did nothing. And when your Pro Bowl tight end that your quarterback desperately needs has outplayed his contract and wants it, and you don't want to commit to his future, well, wait a minute. If it works in his offense, why wouldn't you commit to his future? I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. This tight end worked in McDaniel's system. He went to the Pro Bowl. And if you're going to keep McDaniel around next year and the year out, well, why wouldn't you give him the extension? Weird. Please just show me where in this offseason there's a true commitment to trying to win this year. Please show me that.
Well, I point to a few the Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey deals, which once you weren't going to pay Jonnu, you had to trade him, and you knew you had to trade Jalen Ramsey. They still came and got a Pro Bowl caliber player and a safety in Minkah Fitzpatrick, and they didn't. And sure, that was the return that the Steelers were trying to get off of, but then they didn't go and turn that into a flip of someone else, and they did guarantee him some of the money that they're going for. Zach Sealer,
yeah, but they could get out of it next. But they could get out of it next year, and they saved themselves $6 million.
They still do need flexibility. They need to maintain some flexibility.
But that deal, hold on a second. But that deal got them $6 million in savings, and they got a pick for the future. That wasn't a do it now deal. That was a deal that set them up fiscally more responsible and gave them a pick for the future.
But that pick is barely anything. It's not like this.
The switch of Jason, the switch of the two DBs, it's a wash. You know what I mean? You have one elite player in the secondary. That's all you had anyways. It's a wash. But now you got a guy that at least is younger, and you saved yourself money, and you can get out of it next year if you want to. So it's a lot of flexibility in it. It was a super smart deal, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is for winning purposes. This is for, we want to unload these contracts. That's what they were dying to do. It wasn't like were they really better because of it? Not really. You lost your
but a team that's trying to tank would just trade the player for future picks only and not go and get a return of a wash in the secondary. Yeah, if you were truly trying to tank, you wouldn't just want the wash of the talent in the secondary. You would want to just take picks and lose the player and be worse off for
Bubba. You're stuck with a player that doesn't want to be on your team. You're stuck with a guy that is disgruntled and a problem and doesn't even want to get along with the coach. So you had to swap out that part of it, and that's what you ended up doing, relieving your situation. But overall, you still lose a Pro Bowl player, and then you add another Pro Bowl player in the process. But you put yourself fiscally in a better position, and in the future, you put yourself in a better position out of it because you got to pick out of it, man. So yeah, you were planning for the future. It really wasn't a present deal. It was only a present for convenience, so you can get rid of the disgruntled player for the other guy. That's really all it is.
Well, and I think you always have to be having an eye toward the future. So I think now they're just not going, because as they have said, they are still trying to win, but they're not going all in either direction. It's not an all-in rebuild. It's not an all-in win now, like they went too far the previous couple of seasons. So
there you go.
They're kind of trying to find some balance because, you do need the future flexibility for whatever could happen. But I wouldn't count it as something like they are already set on that Mike McDaniel won't work. I think they genuinely do want to let this season play out with the way it is, because you have Tua signed, you still have Tyreek. Jalen Waddle, you extended last offseason along with Tua. You did, and then this offseason, here's the move, is that you did extend Zach Sealer. So that would be one where, yes, you are. That is for now and for the future. There's moves that show you in each direction. But I would say it's more balanced now and also more frugal, more fiscally responsible with the money.
And what you did was, you didn't do enough to save his job because he's not a good enough coach, and his team has now taken several steps back from the last couple of years. So if he fails, how do you bring him back next year? How do you justify that? You can't.
You can't. You're right. Right. If the season is a failure, you have to. It's a hot seat season. Absolutely.
That's why the change is going to happen, because I don't know how he avoids this. I don't know how he coaches his way out of this. I just cannot see Mike McDaniel coaching his way out of this, because this team is not good enough and not deep enough. It just isn't. Not compared to the teams of the past, and it doesn't have enough experience and leadership like it's had in the past. I don't know, man. To me, I just kind of see what's going on, and it smells funky, bro. It smells funky. It really does.
Now, part of it with Mike McDaniel is, of course, shortcomings that have come when he doesn't have his quarterback too. I will give him the benefit of that doubt. Now, you can't just continue to give him that benefit of the doubt when your quarterback continuously gets hurt and then you don't have your solid backup option available there. So now that'll come into play potentially this year where, all right, we've had enough of a sample size of, we know what happens, how seasons get derailed when you don't have your offense with Tua running it. Now, you have to make sure it gets across through his head that how vital he is to this team to not be doing stupid things on the field with throwing his head in there and putting himself at risk, making sure he stays available for his team. But then, too, in the event that Tua is hurt, you need your backup option available and ready. And then this is where that decision on Zach Wilson being the targeted prospect that they wanted as Tua's backup, the calculated target, who is more of a project than a proven veteran, experienced, known to be reliable backup quarterback, that's where it would come into play because now you no longer have that excuse. You've had enough of a sample of Tua getting hurt. You've got to have the guy that backs him up. And if Zach Wilson doesn't come through in that case, and maybe Tua doesn't ever even get hurt and doesn't allow it to happen, but one of those two things need to happen so that the Dolphins have a successful season. Otherwise, then you're out of excuses at that point.
Well, you want out of excuse. Did you see Skylar Thompson this weekend?
No.
Did you see Skylar Thompson this weekend?
I got some glimpses of it.
20 of 28, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 132 quarterback rating. I'm just wondering, because I love the people that, blow smoke up our fans' asses, and part of it is in the media. Mike McDaniel lifted Tua. Bullshit, dude. Tua carries his sorry ass like he carried Flo's sorry ass, because both of them are they're both inconsistent. They both don't know what the hell they're doing, and he wins and throws more touchdowns and less interceptions with both of those idiots. And when you give him real coaching like Saban, you will win a national title. So what I keep mentioning to people is that guy has proven over and over again he doesn't know how to prepare quarterbacks. None of his backups are ever ready. Now, this is only one preseason game, but do you remember Skylar Thompson playing this well once in the preseason? This well? I don't remember having 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 20 of 28. That's clean. If Skylar Thompson starts to play well in Pittsburgh, better than he played here, that becomes an even bigger indictment. Oh, by the way, did you not see that Mike McDaniel also struggled to get plays in again this week? So, yeah, that again doesn't help the young quarterbacks that you're trying. I can't even blame everything on Zach Wilson or on Ewers. I just can't blame everything on Zach. I mean, maybe he doesn't have the guy around him to teach him everything that he needs, and that's why he is Zach Wilson. And Quinn Ewers, I actually think his outing was better than people think, because there were several drops, and if they hang on to those balls, it might have looked a little better for the kid. Unfortunately, he screwed up with the fumbles and all that, but he actually played a little better than what it looks, unfortunately. But I get it. But again, I think they have the wrong guy to prepare the quarterbacks. And this Skylar Thompson thing better be an aberration, because then it proves that maybe it's not the front office. What the front office has to do is fix their damn coaches and get the right coach, because the first guy couldn't build an offensive staff. And this guy, I don't even know if he knows how to design an offense, to be quite honest. He can design a play. I don't know about an offense.
Well, I do remember Skylar Thompson putting up some good preseason outings. I don't know if it was that good, but definitely I recall, was it the Eagles game, his rookie year, where he was lighting it up, throwing to Eric Ezukama, and that was the connection. Last year, although it was kind of more like who wouldn't lose the preseason quarterback battle, but Mike White. You could tell in that preseason finale against the Buccaneers, when it was between Skylar Thompson and Mike White, you knew, okay, that was when it was settled. It's Skylar for sure. You figured that much out based on how much better he ran the offense there in that game. So we have seen it from Skylar in the preseason and then not come to fruition in regular season. So we'll hold off on that. But it would be an indictment if, let's say, he were thrown into some action in the regular season and he is playing well, then yeah, that would be telling. If that quickly in Pittsburgh it happens, and then if at the same time, boy, you play both. See, with that Zach Wilson nickname, now you can play both sides of the fence with the Dolphins Zacks, because you have Zach Sealer who produces the sacks, and then you have Zach Wilson now who gets sacked from holding onto the ball too long.
He used to sack MILFs. Now he sacks himself. That's kind of what it is now. He's just switched up the sacking, and so that's it. And we got to.
That's a married man you're talking about, Big O. He's a married man now.
Exactly. So he's not sacking MILFs anymore. Now he sacks himself. So let's spin the Z around and make it an S. It's kind of let's bring Cam Cameron back so he can say, oh, we're going to make that thumb right side up, and all that for picking Ted Ginn. So we'll do that. So spin the Z, make it an S, and call him Zach Wilson, because that's exactly what that was bad, bro. That was bad. And if Skylar Thompson continues to play well, that is going to be like a really this fan base is going to be really pissed, because you're going to find out that really your problem is not so much your personnel
It's really your coaches. With the fact that your coaches haven't been good enough for whatever reason, and because there's a lot of talent that has come through this building, dude, in the last few years, and you've got to learn to tweak which ones to keep and which ones to let go. But your coaches are your main problem, dude. It's been a revolving door, and it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, I think if Zach Wilson also doesn't pick up the offense in an efficient manner to be prepared to back up Tua and play in the event that Tua gets hurt, and he would just be another one in the long line of Dolphins backup quarterbacks that cannot play in this system, then yeah, I mean, there's enough evidence at that point to line up that the system is just too complex for most quarterbacks, and that on these Dolphins rosters, it's only
No,
worked
Papa.
with
No, Papa. No. You're wrong there. You're wrong there because he hurts Tua. Tua's so good, he overcomes his bullshit because he doesn't win challenges. He doesn't get plays in on time. He doesn't stick to the run. He doesn't even know who to use in the run. Look at this week. He went back to Achane on short yardage, bro. Even Tyreek, who's not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, he knows that Achane's not a short yardage back. This guy does things that are detriments to the quarterback. The problem is Tua is so good that he overcomes this guy's detriments. But Skylar Thompson or Huntley or Ewers or Zach Wilson, these guys they're not at Tua's level, so they can't overcome his goofus ass. Tua overcame a guy that hated him, bro. A guy that hated him. He overcame a guy that said, you know what? We're going to start him off against the Rams. You know, that's the guy. And Tua had to fight that. Tua had to fight the guy that he didn't practice all week for the Ravens game. Oh, get out of here. We don't need you. Until, Jabroni gets injured, and then you need him. And then all of a sudden, because, you're a jabroni as a coach, and now you need him, and he carries your ass, and you come back. Tua is better than people actually think he is. He's much better than people think he is. It's just he's not the guy that you want him to be. You want him to be Josh Allen. You want him to be, Lamar Jackson. That's not his kind of game. So his kind of game, you need to block and you need to run the ball. And Mike McDaniel doesn't understand that. So he is a detriment to all quarterbacks, but he's a bigger detriment to young quarterbacks.
Yeah. Now, I won't give you him on your point on hurting Tua, because Tua was a different quarterback when he had Brian Flores, and you saw the turnaround for him when he joined Mike McDaniel. So I can't give you that one, Big O.
Yeah, really? Well, that's because he got Tyreek and Waddle. Oh, by the way, when he had Waddle, when they had Waddle, the other coaching staff made him a fucking possession receiver. How do you like them apples, bro? You think that's great coaching? Let's get Waddle and let's make him a slot receiver, because we're really fucking geniuses. So you couldn't find a slot receiver and put the kid on the outside. Like when he had a broken rib and finger and he completed a 50-yarder to Waddle on the left side, that kind of stuff. No, let's use him. Come on, dude. Come on. That's a detriment to your quarterback. You had a quarterbacks coach that was a 7-on-7s coach. You had dual offensive coordinators. You had like 3 different offensive line coaches. Everything was a detriment to Tua under Flo and under Mike McDaniel. All the talent came in, so that opened it up for him, and he gave him confidence. But I don't think he made him. He just gave him confidence, because when he was in Alabama, he had all of that too, and he delivered a national championship. So, I saw the proven Tua already. I've never seen the proven McDaniel, put it that way. I've seen him do it without McDaniel, where I haven't seen him do it with McDaniel. And I blame McDaniel like I blame McDaniel for a lot of the ills of the offense.
Well, we have seen him do it with McDaniel too. So we've seen him do it without McDaniel, but we've also seen him do it with.
No. What I mean is do it the right way with McDaniel, with the running game, and know when to stick to the run, like in that Buffalo game, like in that Green Bay game, that when the run is working, against the Ravens and you're driving downfield and Mostert is pounding them, and then all of a sudden you go to the stupid screen, and then there you go. And it just, these are the things that are a detriment to the quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely things he could do better, but I feel like because giving him the confidence that you mentioned, that's part of coaching too. That coach to player relationship. So you do have to give him credit for that aspect. And then that uplifted him to a point where then he could lead the league in yards per attempt and quarterback rating one year, lead the league in completion percentage another year, passing yards in 2023. So, we've seen the best of Tua these past 3 years under Mike McDaniel. Now he's just got to get healthy again, have the run game work to allow things to open back up, to get the connection with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle back up and running. And then that could re-spark things. But right now, coming off last year, right, we are on the downward trend, but they're trying to dig themselves out of it.
All right, what do you got going on, Bubba, before the practices start over the next 2 days? Because obviously there's one Detroit Lion that you saw Poupart put out. His counterpart in Detroit said, Grant Stewart, about facing the Dolphins. It says, I don't know if they're ready. I'm going to keep it stacked. I've played at a lot of places and played against that team last year and at joint practices against that team twice when I was in Tampa. I don't know if they practice how we practice. I'm excited to see our guys for sure, and I'm excited to get out there and do something against somebody else who doesn't know every in and out of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the perception around the league. And the Bears, I think, in that joint practice Friday, they went in with, all right, we're going to bully them and see how they respond. And that was outside of the practice regulations. So I don't think you should ever be practicing like that. Turn it into an actual physical.
I got to tell you guys, I got to tell all you writers out there about this. That's a bunch of horse shit you guys are writing. It's a bunch of horse. What do you guys talk about the Panthers? Because everybody says they're dirty. And I'm glad.
But
I'm glad.
That's where
and by the way, Teron Armstead talked about the whole Brooks thing and with Dotson, and they got that he wanted him to take him to the ground like they were doing on the other side of the field. You know what, bro? Here's where I tell Teron Armstead and the defense, no, that's not your fight. Why didn't the offense respond to the Bears? Oh, you're taking our guys down. So why didn't a guard explode on a linebacker and run right his ass over? Or why didn't a guard or a tackle or somebody or the center come out and run a DB or a safety over and tell them, F you? You want to do that? We're going to do that too. Why didn't the Dolphins offense, the softest thing on this team for 40 freaking years? There's a reason why the Dolphins have been wussies for 40 years, dude. Yes, they've had tough players like Tim Bowens and Zach Thomas and Randy Starks, and they got tough guys now like Zach Sealer, and I know Grant's going to be tough, and I know Chubb's a tough sumbitch and all that, but their team overall is a bunch of softies, and they fold in every cheap moment and every big moment for 40 years because I've watched it. So I love how Teron Armstead's talking about, they wanted the linebackers to take their guys down like they're doing to our guys. And I'm asking, why didn't our offensive guys actually go after the dirty defenders from the Bears? That's what should happen, okay? Because I love that people hate the Panthers because they play through every whistle, bell, horn, whatever the hell goes on in any sport, they play right through it. And everybody knows that when you play the Panthers, you're going to get your ass kicked. Why is it that nobody ever thinks about the Miami Dolphins the same way? Please explain that to me. So when you guys are all writing about, the Bears defenders were out of line. No, what you guys should say is, why didn't the Dolphin offensive players get out of line? Okay, because that's how you stop those assholes from doing that, by putting them in their place. But the Dolphins have never done that, and they've never been that team. And that's why the Eagles are raising the trophy, because they will put you in your place on offense or on defense. Go ahead.
Well, because I think it's a practice setting where you're trying to work on what makes your offense run. So you don't want to go, if I'm a guard, I'm not going to go outside of my scheme and then later have my coaches yelling at me for not being in the right spot because I went and chased down a linebacker that wasn't even my assignment and go put him on his ass just out of like a pride thing.
Got to send a message. Send a message.
In a game, it may be, but I mean, you're just working on stuff in practice.
So you're going to allow people to beat on you?
No, well, that's why then when someone would get tackled, then that's why fights started, and then Mike McDaniel doesn't like that, so that's why he got into breaking it all up and shit. But no, yeah. So I mean, yeah. Once they saw, okay, because that's how a play ends, is a player tackling another player. If they see that, then that's when the physical altercations begin. But that's already at the end of a play. So, but then I wouldn't want them to then have it so much in their mind that then now they're going out of the scheme and their offense to go and say, all right, now on this play, I'm going to go hit the shit out of this guy when that's not where you're supposed to be going. That's not your assignment.
I know, but if they're doing it, you can't sit there and go,
they're defenders who are supposed
bad
to
on
be.
you. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, naughty. Put the dunces cap, put them in the corner. That doesn't fly. None of that flies. This is football, hockey. Hit them, dude. Hit them back. That's the only way you get respect in this league is if you hit them back. If you're just going to be the punching bag, God bless, dude. I don't know about that one. That one's rough.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's the big question mark that it is tough to call. Is that because you want to get an efficient practice to work on the things that you need to work on ahead of the season, but then if another team is messing with you, then and you have this perception around the league, then you do want to send a message as well. So I know it's kind of something that I'm torn on, but ultimately,
I'll leave it at this: it's a preseason game, and the Bears do that to the Panthers. What do you think happens? If the Panthers were a football team and the Bears were a football team, or vice versa, they're both hockey teams, and the Bears start doing dirty shit to these Panthers in the preseason, ¿qué pasa?
They're going to respond and hit them in the mouth. But also in games, you are supposed to be tackling to the ground. So I don't think I think there's nothing tough guy about the Bears thudding and then a running back who assumes that's all you're going to do and lets up because the play's over. Now all of a sudden you're twisting him to the ground. Like I don't think there's any
or bully. But if you're a thug or you're a bully, well then send the message, baby. Send the message, bully, thug. That shit don't fly here. And that's my point. That if you would have tried that with the Florida Panthers that you see now, they will punch you in the mouth. Manny Navarro's coming next. Not these canes, because these canes, maybe now Mario starts getting different ones, but the last 15, 20 years, soft-ass canes, they do the same thing. Now, the canes of the 80s and the 90s, you try doing that to them in a practice, and they're going to drag your ass all over the field for something like that. I would rather see I'd rather have my team be talked about in that way than be the team that is taking on the hits. That's all I'm saying.
See the Canes of the 80s, 90s, and 2001, they would drag your ass all over the field, and they would also do it within the rules and beat you 62-7 or something. You know,
okay,
so they do both.
Yeah, but whatever it takes. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And of course, reach out to our friends at Welt and Rayom. We are in storm season. 954-966-4646. They have their own adjusters. So if you suffer any kind of damage, water damage, wind damage, or hurricane damage, call them. They'll send their adjusters and they'll attack the insurance company. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on a Big O radio show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
What's up, dog? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Excellent. Can't complain, because I was tripping out on all this thing the last couple of days about the Bears, and they were practicing so hard and it took some of the players down. And then some of the beat writers were talking about, the Bears players were dirty. Yeah, but dude, I want my players to be dirty too then. Answer back, bro. Punch him in the mouth.
Yeah.
Don't allow that kind of shit to happen. And it's something you and I have talked about with the Canes in the past, that they needed to be a tougher group. They've been getting pushed around for years now, and we are watching now the Canes be the team that pushes people around now. And to me, dude, when you're playing football, that's why I use the Panthers as a perfect example, or you could talk about the old Canes. But when the Panthers nowadays, does anybody want to play the Panthers in hockey? No. Why? Because they know it's 60 minutes of effing hell, bro, that they're going to bring a physical nature to the game. And when the Canes were the Canes, they brought a physical nature to the game. And to me, when the bully is bullying you, like the Bears were trying, it's because, look at Detroit now. They're already talking shit about the Dolphins. It's because they know that they can push you around, and you got to do something about it, dude. And that to me is, if you're playing football or you're playing hockey, brother, toughness has got to be at the center of everything that you do, mental or physical.
Yeah, they're still playing tackle football, right? Not flag football. I know flag football is in the Olympics now, and we see all the 7-on-7 stuff. But at heart, there's still a warrior that's supposed to be inside of you, right? There still has to be somebody who's not going to let that other guy intimidate you. And finding those type of guys is central on any team, no matter what the sport is. You need guys that are unafraid, that are going to get right into the middle of the fight and stand up for their teammates.
That's so that the whole I'm a soldier, a warrior, that's from
UD, right?
Yeah.
You had UD on the Heat for years as the enforcer. You think back to the good Dolphins teams of the 70s. I mean, you could probably name a bunch of guys that were sort of their UD, right?
And what's it called? Langer and guys like that and Larry Little and guys like that were just going to knock your ass out, bro. Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. And that, to me, this week, this whole thing about, the Bears were too physical and they were dirty and taking people to the ground. Well, bro, why didn't you answer back and knock their asses to the ground? Send them a message that you're not going to get. What do you do to a bully, right?
Right.
You punch him in the face, bro, and you tell him, this is not going to happen here. You know what I mean? And that's where you either are the bully or you get bullied. And somehow or another, our football teams have been bullied. And I think the one in Coral Gables is about to start bullying more now. And they're going to get back to what they've done. By the way, speaking of bullying and being tough and being a fighter, Dana White manages a lot of fighters at the UFC. He apparently now is an open Miami Hurricanes fan. He says he's going to come back for the Miami Notre Dame game. Did you catch that with Dana White?
Yeah, I saw Sports Illustrated had something on it not too long ago. Yeah, I mean, I think it's because his daughter is going to UM, if I'm not mistaken. That might be the reason why. But yeah, I mean, listen, Mario's got some MMA guys. Let's not forget, Mario would probably have been an MMA or
son of a bitch.
right.
That's a tough son of a bitch
for
here,
football.
bro.
I mean, him and his brothers, the stories I've heard about the fights him and his brothers had on campus.
I wouldn't mess with those guys. I wouldn't mess with them.
No. So yeah, that comes that's real. That's not fake.
Oh no, they're when it comes to toughness, there's nothing about Mario Cristobal that is bullshit about his toughness. He is the real deal, and we saw him play, bro. We saw him bring it to the table. He was a nasty player. He played well, bro, and he's been a tough guy all through. For him, it's just kind of, it's funny because the Dolphins made a coaching change in Craig Ackerman. And you saw a nice, it's only preseason, but they looked much more structured and better in just the first preseason game. At the same time, Corey Heatherman is the change that the Miami Hurricanes have made. And to me, if you're able to finally fix your assistant coaches and get the right ones, plus he has kind of taken that conservative stuff and put it on the side a little bit. I just think that now you may have the right combination. I don't know if that's the answer yet because we have to see Heatherman's defense kind of take over and be that. But, dude, if you get a defense that can perform with this offense and the potential it has, sky's the limit, dude. Sky's the limit.
And the one thing I would say that's pretty evident with this team is there's a lot more depth on that side of the football than there was a year ago when you had to go into the transfer portal and just try to find guys that could be starters. They got 6 guys now in the secondary and a lot of guys that have had playing experience at the power forward level. So to me, this is a much more experienced, gritty group, and which is good when you're able to add to the transfer portal guys that have played, because that allows a lot of the young guys he's recruited within the last 2 years to not be forced into major roles, meaning you could play a David Blay, who you got from Louisiana Tech and was a all conference USA first team selection at D line. And that allows Justin Scott to not be out there for 70 snaps or 60 snaps. He can play 45, 50 snaps and be elite in those 45, 50 snaps instead of having to go and play 60 or 70, which is what the case was with a guy like Ruben Bain 2 years ago when he was the ACC freshman of the year. And eventually that wears on your body. You get the injuries, and then you're out. You don't have that guy for 4 or 5 games. So I think that this is a much deeper team, and you're going to start to see that in year 4 of the Cristobal era.
Yeah, and by the way, I mean, I've told you already, I'm super psyched about the Canes season this year. I may not be pumped about the Dolphins, but I am super psyched. I think the Canes are headed in the right direction. I think we're going to have a hell of a year this year. How about a top 10 ranking, bro? So it's nice to see that the pundits out there kind of see the same thing that I'm seeing right now, that the Canes are building it right.
No, and more importantly, I'd say the coaches as well. Like the coaches poll also had them 10th. And so to me, it's a sign that even they recognize that, hey, this isn't the old Miami teams that were overrated and weren't made of substance. Like when those guys start to view what Mario's doing and respect it and give him, that his praise, that tells me that this is more real than just hype, which we've seen over the years with these Miami teams. So again, he's doing it the right way. He's doing it on the lines of scrimmage. That goes on the road, anywhere you play.
Anywhere.
You're big up front.
Yeah.
You can play and win anywhere. And so it's not, kind of the Dolphins, right? Which is all speed and offense and movement and tricks and parlor tricks. And this is real substance. So that's the difference.
It's what we've been since Marino, bro. We've always been, there's a Ricky year sprinkled in and a Jay Ajayi year and shit like that happens. Lamar Smith, has a season, but more often than not, we've been a finesse team for 40 years, and that's why they don't go deep, and that's why they won't win in big moments. But this team is now built for big moments. So do the players, how are they handling this top 10 stuff? Because I hope they handle it with like hunger, like, okay, that's nice, but it's not enough. Not like, oh, wow, we've arrived and we're top 10. I wonder how they're handling it, because I hope they're looking at it like in a pissed off fashion, like, yeah, that ain't shit. I want to be one.
Yeah, I think the leadership, one thing you have to remember here is Carson Beck was at Georgia and he won the SEC when he was there. He's 24-3 as a starter. He's played in a lot of big games. So this whole attitude of, oh, we got a top 10 matchup with Notre Dame. This dude has played in how many of those games in his career, you know? Right. And then on the defensive side, you've got guys like Ruben Bain. You've got guys like Motori who played in the Big Ten when he was at Rutgers. Like, he's faced big time opponents. There's guys that have been around the block on this team. And yes, there are some young guys who are going to be playing important roles, but for the most part, I think, you've got guys that have played in championship games and won conference championships. Zachariah Poyser, who they got at safety, who I think is going to be one of their best players this year, won a Conference USA championship last year. Again, yes, it's Conference USA, but it's a championship. It's something that he worked for and won at a high level in his division. So to me, the more guys you have like that on your roster, the better it ends up paying off in the end. And so I think this isn't a team that's going to be fazed by what they're ranked in the polls. They've already lived that moment last year with Cam Ward when they were, had a chance and they blew it. So I think there's a lot of hunger on this roster for sure.
By the way, get your Canes gear. They're at Canes Wear. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off online or in person. They got anything and everything practically with the Canes logo. They got stuff also for tailgating, tents, all kinds of stuff. Dolphin gear, Heat gear, Marlins gear, Inter Miami gear. They got it all for you there at Canes Wear. Follow Manny, of course, Manny_Navarro. Manny, what do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out, my friend?
Been busy. Got a All-America team that's coming out tomorrow. I have my feature on Miami. Went down there for the beginning of camp. Wrote a story that's finally going to run tomorrow as well. Got plenty of more stuff in the athletic, man. We got this is the time of year when all of our preseason stuff is coming out. Bruce Feldman put out his freaks list. We put our top 100 transfers. I'm doing another thing now on the 20 players that are going to impact the college football playoff race. I got a Miami guy in there. So there's plenty of reading content for those of you who want to catch up on everything college football. I know a lot of people don't tune in until around this time of year. So they're probably catching up. Who are these guys they got in the portal again? Who's this? Oh yeah, Carson Beck. How's he look? Those are the kind of questions they have. So those are the stories we got for you to read.
All right, good stuff. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a great week. We will catch up on Friday, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Take care, brother.
You got it. Caneswear.com. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Super chat, sir. He says they didn't start it, but they needed to finish it. You get me, bro. You get me. You get me. Because you're not going to do that to the Panthers. You're not. You're not going to take any cheap shots against the Panthers in a practice game, in an exhibition game, in a regular season game, in the playoffs, or in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Okay, or finals, I should say, because it's always the Stanley Cup playoffs or the finals. At any point, if you think you're going to push around the Panthers, they're going to go, what? And then they're going to, the old untouchables line, like I said. They send one of yours to the hospital. You send two of theirs to the morgue. That's where I come from. You don't go whine and complain, and then your media members are also whining, complaining about the softness. Maybe the media members for the Miami Dolphins have been around a soft football team for so long that they respond with soft articles too. Oh, they were tough on us. They were dirty. Well, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to call the teacher. I'm going to report it to the assistant principal. Chiva. That's not how I grew up, bro. That's not how I grew up. And I didn't care if it was a pickup game. I didn't care if it was a regular game. If you took a dirty shot at me, you were going to get retaliation. Doesn't matter what it was. I could be playing at the Boys and Girls Club. I could be playing for Hialeah High. I could be playing for the Falcons, or I could be playing a pickup game at Arbondale. Okay? Didn't matter what level it was. You took a shot at me, a dirty shot at me, and I was going to take a dirty shot at you back. You're not going to get away with it. I'm not going to sit here and whine and go cry and point to the teacher. You know, a friend of yours in the back flicks your ear or something, then, you know, it's on like Donkey Kong. That's it. It's the way it goes. That's life. What's this whole thing about, oh, you're dirty and pointing fingers and this, that, and it's football, dude. We're not playing tennis. We're not playing golf here or something. We're playing a physical sport that comes with collisions and intimidation and physicality. And they get amped up. It's your job to answer back. Not point and whine. Oh, he's being too physical. That's embarrassing, dude. Not only were the Dolphins embarrassing, the writers were embarrassing for going along with the same stupid storyline. How can you be in this town and be a Panthers fan or be a Canes fan from the 80s and the 90s or a Dolphins fan from the 70s? I don't know how young you can be or as old as I am and live through the different physical teams, and you're worried about somebody being too physical. Get the hell out of here, bro. They're dirty? Well, then take care of it, dude. Take care of it. Send a message. Wuss. Lenny says Omar Kelly's crying on Twitter. Jalen Waddle has a rib injury due to the Bears' aggressive style of practice last week. Cry me a river. Exactly. Go bust their ribs too. If you knew that happened in practice, well, then, you know, when the game rolls around, then take someone out in the game. Or if something happened in practice, they took one of your, well, then take a couple of their guys out, bro. Wussy ass team. That's why the Dolphins don't go anywhere, because they got no balls. McDaniel reminds me of a Killian high school coach, high school pothead I would smoke out with. Tyreek punks him around. Let's see. Hello, James Vivinetti. Manolo and Mario go for un cafecito a la carreta in Little Havana. Edward says, do you think Brian Cox would put up with that wimpy? No, Brian Cox. Dude, you take dirty shots in a practice with Brian Cox? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That would be fun. I want to be at that practice because Brian Cox would have none of that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Wilson played with some urgency in the first two drives, but he fell off a cliff afterwards. Not sure what's to blame. I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm not really the biggest Zach Wilson fan, but whatever. Skyler plays well in the preseason, not like this. He didn't play like this last preseason. At no point. He might have had one decent game, but I don't even think it was a 3-touchdown performance or anything like that, bro. I mean, that was a clean game. Now, it was only preseason, and he's experienced, so he should be able to play well in the preseason. But I'm just saying it's something we have to look at. If Skylar Thompson becomes a better football player with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it becomes an indictment on Mike McDaniel, and it shows you it magnifies even more the problem. Let me phrase it the right way. That's my point. Okay? So, and Dolphin Dave says, I told you, Big O, Darren Waller is the secret weapon in the skies. That's what it's all about. It's all about the secret weapon in the skies. That's what I say. I'm with you there. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. We thank, of course, Mr. Brunetti for making it happen, the great Steve Calabro. Steve was trying to make it, but he's wrapped up in a bunch of interviews and stuff and meetings. That's what happens when you're the general mangler here. You're constantly busy here. You're mangling everything. So anyway, come on out here, join us, of course, and come on out here, the second floor poker room. Beautiful place. No smoking. Beautiful. They're giving away a Corvette at the end of the month. So every time you play the slots down there, the very loose slots, you get an entry. And by the way, you got to be here live on the 30th, the night of the 30th at 1 a.m., because they give out the vet, and you have to be live to win it, which means a fraction of the people that actually play the games are actually here that Saturday night. So it gives you a great chance to win the vet. I'll be here. That's sorry, because it's a vet. I come for a couple of them. Ones I really want to win. I'm not an employee of Hialeah Park. I'm eligible. Sean is eligible. We go and play the slots down there when we're interested in all those. I don't think he's doing the vet, but he was here for the truck. He wanted the truck badly. Couldn't get it. Was kind of pissed when he left. He really wanted that Lightning. I wanted that Lightning too. You know, we were both disappointed. But anyway, who knows? Maybe I'll be driving away in a vet at the end of the month, or you could be driving away in a vet. You never know. All right, y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you all. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button before you go. We shall see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow midday, noon. Toyota of Hollywood. Tomorrow we will be in Hollywood. All right. And don't forget, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. See you tomorrow at noon. Be good.
This is the Big O Show. This is the